Prabhu, if you just
Hare
stop
Krishna.
and start, will it be a separate recording unit, Prabhu, or it will
Yeah,
just...
yeah, it will be a separate file. You can delete the prior one. You can do whatever you want with it.
And you
So
have
it will,
to, if you have to stitch it back, Prabhuji, say power went off and you started again, then you need a video
yeah, you need
processing
an editor
application,
tool.
is it?
Yeah,
No,
you need an editor tool.
in the morning between our session, we lost internet connection for a minute. So it stopped and it continued, and it came as a single video only.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it works like that. It happened to me also. Yeah, it works like that. Sometimes
Okay,
I
it
don't know
has
how it.
retries inbuilt.
Yeah,
It
I think
has,
it keeps
that's the reason.
buffering. I think it keeps buffering somewhere. The memory is stored, and then it catches up from there. It happened with me when I was concerned, and it came out as one file.
One file, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes when you have to do it, you can as well pause. Instead of stopping.
Pause. Yes, I know. But when you stop, I thought you should stop it for a little more time if you want to break it.
Oh no! When you stop it, it breaks immediately.
It breaks automatically.
Yeah, automatically it breaks. At least. Yeah. Okay. So Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all devotees who joined. Hopefully this will be one of our last offline satsangs until the next pandemic, which comes once in 80 years. So Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Prabhuji, generally Balgan Prabhu does the like YouTube, live YouTube also. We can't do that, Prabhuji.
We can do that. But in that we can't interact, na?
It's not interactive, right? It's one-sided.
Yeah, it's one-sided.
While the Zoom class is also going on, there is a live YouTube link also he publishes, so that it's not like we later upload it and do the send the link. So he does both actually, Zoom live and also YouTube live. He does both at the same time.
Yeah, even I
Prabhuji
can do
also
that.
does.
And I can do that.
Actually,
I used to do
yeah,
in the
Prabhuji
past,
also
but
used to do.
now we are a small group, so at least joining online, so I didn't want to do it like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so I had requested Soma Mataji to bless us all with nice kirtan for the Supreme Lord. So Mataji, as you want.
Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhuji. I sent you a link, KK songs link for the lyrics.
Oh, you want me to show it? 1 second. And today morning, somebody commented in the chat some question or comment, and I just did. I could not read it in the class. If anybody remembers. No, I have not got anything, Mataji. Have you sent anything in chat or in WhatsApp?
Oh, in WhatsApp, Prabhuji. In WhatsApp.
Oh, okay, in WhatsApp. Okay. Oh, Shri Guru Vandana. Hare Krishna. Okay. I'll remove my pin. Yes. Then I will share the screen. Yes. Is this good enough?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is written by Srila Prabhupada himself, and from the book Gitar Gan. Gitar Gan is the Bengali translation of all 700 Gita shlokas, not the purports, shlokas. So for that, he wrote a Mangalacharan prayer for his Guru, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So I read it like that. Yeah.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Shri Guru Vandana Tori Tanhara Charana Dhori Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada Shri Guru Vandana Tori Tanhara Charana Dhori Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada भारत शिक्षा गुरु साबे वांचा कल्पातरु कृपा कर घुचक विशाल हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे रूपा सनातन प्रभु गौड़िया आचार्य विभू आरा से भट्टा रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टा वृंदावन ये संघटा मिले प्रभु दास रघुनाथ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे गोस्वामी प्रभु रगणा आश्रय से श्री चरणा अन्य मोर किछु आशा ना तांड्र मध्य ये श्री जीवा उज्ज्वलाचार्य दीपा दिया जेन चरणे ते हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे आमी से दुर्मति अति विषय भोगते मति कृपा करिया नीलोतनिया मूर्ख मुई नीचा अति श्री सिद्धांत सरस्वती कृपा वारी दिला से सिंचिया हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे पतिता पावन प्रभु नित्यानंद गौर विभू श्री अद्वैत कृपा पारवार श्रीवासादि गदाधरा कृपा कर एक गोरा बुझिला मतव कृपा सारा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे वृंदावन रम्य स्थाना सेवा कुंज तारा नामा श्री राधा दामोदर स्थिति संहर चरण मुई एकांत आश्रय लाई कृपा कोरी कोरो मोर गति Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Gitar Ganai, Tomara Charan Chui, Raha Morai Pushpanjali, Ki Jani Ki Likhi, Ekanta Bharasa Tumi, Ye likhao se Padyavali. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Abhaya Charana Tava, Ashraye Sarvadharava, Ai Mora Nitya Kala Asha, Bhakti Vedanta Bole, Ami Kintu Dasa Hole, Vimochanaye Mayara Thasa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
We'll read the translation, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. You want us to read, or
You read, Prabhuji.
maybe each one can read one? Yeah, I'll read the first one. So, translation. Touching the lotus feet of my spiritual teacher, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, I offer my respectful obeisances and orations to him, as well as the instructing spiritual masters who are desired trees. Anybody else?
I'll read, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami are the acharyas between all the Vaishnavas. With them, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami formed in assembly and were intimate associates in Sri Vrindavana Dhama.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I do not long for another thing more than the exclusive protection and refuge of the lotus feet, these Goswamis. Between all acharyas, Srila Jiva Goswami stands out as a shining torch of knowledge. It has much mercy when giving me residence next to his lotus in the temple of Radha Damodara.
I'm reading the fourth one, Prabhu.
Yes.
I'm a person of very evil and injurious mentality because I'm always engrossed in the allowance of the senses with the material benefit. Although this is the condition of my mind, by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is kind with me, removing to me and retiring to me of this dark. I'm simply an idiot and I'm extremely fallen and of low birth. But even so, my Guru Maharaj has kindness to sprinkle on my heart the rain of the divine compassion.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Number 5.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Madhuri.
O lifter of the fallen souls, O Lord, O omniscient Lord Nityananda and Gaura, O Advaita Prabhu, the ocean of mercy, O Srivasa and Gadadhara, heads of the disciplic succession, please, they show mercy to this servant. I wish to understand that their mercy alone is solely the real essence of the life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
6th one. In the lovely place of Vrindavan Dham, in the grove named Seva Kunj, is where Sri Sri Radha Damodar is situated. Their lotus feet is my only shelter that I take. Please show mercy upon me and become my refuge. Hare Krishna.
Please accept Shri Gita Ragana, the song of the Bhagavad Gita, as an offering of flowers to your lotus feet. Whatever I know, whatever I write, I have exclusive faith in you, in that you are actually writing these verses.
Hare Krishna.
I always remain fearless by always taking shelter at your lotus feet. This is my eternal wish. Bhaktivedanta says, I am only your servant. Please release me from the noose of Maya.
Prabhuji, go up and click the Gita Argan link, Prabhuji. There are 2 lines that I want us to read. Click that and
yeah.
And if you go down, yeah, that's that paragraph.
This one. Gita Gan, or the Song of the Gita, is a Bengali translation of the Bhagavad Gita written by Srila Prabhupada. After translating the Gita into English with extensive authoritative commentaries, he communicated the Gita in a more simpler form through writing in Bengali poetic form. Despite having the Gita in a systematic poetic form, the Bengali poetic form resembles Bengali Kirtan with different poetic styles. Even though Srila Prabhupada translated 718 verses, 18 of his own chapter concluded verses, plus the original 700 Gita verses, he stressed his disciples in reading his commentaries on original Vedic literature rather than promote his own original works, such as his bhajans. Hare Krishna. So where are those additional 18? Do you know?
They're the ones, chapter 1, chapter 2, all of them are there. So every chapter, in the end, he has written his own verse. That's how 18 extra have come. So if you click, see, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsavaha, Mamaka Pandavaschaiva, Kimakurvata Sanjay. That is the Sanskrit one. The same one he has written in Bengali, like this.
Yeah, and then I want to see what did he write the final 47th verse. Bhakti Vedanta kahe Shri Gita Ragan Sune Yadi Shuddha Bhakta Krishna Gata Pran.
Mm.
But this seems to be a common one after every chapter, right? No.
I don't know, Prabhuji, 718 are there.
Wait a second. Let me just see. Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
46, right? Chapter 1 has 45 or 44? It has 40. It has 46. So 47th. Yeah, 47th is his verse, right?
Mm. Mm.
So what is the translation of that? Bhaktivedanta Kehe Shri Gitar Gan Sune Yadi Shuddha Bhakta Krishna Gata Pran. First one I could understand the line. Thus Bhakti Vedanta sings the song of Shri Gita with the hope that hearing this, Krishna conscious pure devotees will be pleased. Hare Krishna. The humility. He's saying that all the acharyas will be pleased hearing his Gitar Gan. Okay.
All chapters have same last verse, Prabhu.
Yeah, same last verse, is it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare
I just
Krishna.
checked.
If you see Prabhuji has like this, no,
Sorry?
Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also offers obeisances to spiritual masters and
Yeah. In fact, he has chapters and chapters of just offering obeisances.
Prabhuji,
Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami.
this is such a pinnacle of literary skills, right? Even
I
if
can,
people
I mean,
want to become famous, they can't do this, Prabhuji. It's like ultimate.
no, it is, Mataji, actually, when we see the life of Srila Prabhupada, after a point, you have to accept that he is not a person of this world. His, the skills that he has.
Yeah.
I mean, writing 700 verses in Bengali in a poetic form. I mean, it's so unfortunate that the country has so many praises for so many poets, who have written their imagination, and they get so many awards. But somebody like Bhaktivedanta Swami, who could just, out of such a busy schedule, he wrote 800 verses, 718 verses in Bengali, rhythmic, poetic, and with such high philosophy. Bhagavad Gita is not easy to translate. Forget about putting it in Bengali, and that too in a poetic form, right? And
We should propose Bharat Ratna for. I mean, that's the least we could do. Even Bharat Ratna is very small.
sometimes, yeah, why not? Bharat, just for people to know what he has done.
Yeah.
That is a good idea, but he's above. He's like a Ratna of what? Not
Vishwaratna.
Vishwaratna award. New award we have to design for Srila Prabhupada. Yes.
Prabhuji, just like how there is Ramanujacharya, I thought we should also have Srila Prabhupada.
And we have it in Mayapur.
The big statue, Prabhu. Like
Yes.
huge statue should have.
Prabhu, the only Acharya who can be compared or who can be brought at the level of, avatars like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya is Srila Prabhupada. Shankaracharya and Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka Swami, at that level he can be kept. He's not, we are not dealing with somebody who is just one other person in disciplinic succession. He literally brought down the whole mercy of entire chain and like explosion of Krishna consciousness, they say, right? That's what he did. It's not an ordinary. No one can take the position of Srila Prabhupada. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada's position, no one can take. Though he's so nicely giving it away, saying that it's all the mercy of. You see the whole 8 verses, right? We were reading. Everywhere he's saying, I got blessings, mercy, blessings, mercy, blessings, mercy. That's all he's saying, right? And the words that he's writing are actually written by his gurus, right? So it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And we are so fortunate that we have videos of such a great soul, right? We still have some access, how he used to walk, how he used to talk. Every time you hear a tape of Srila Prabhupada, even today, it has equivalent impact, even to somebody who doesn't know him. When he speaks, the authority with which he speaks, the clarity with which he speaks, and his disciples, what they brought forward and presented, right? Lot of the examples that ISKCON devotees quote even today are actually coming from Prabhupada. Sometimes we don't know, but when you hear the tapes, when you hear the tapes, which I've stopped hearing, I should start again, is that those examples are already given. Now we are quoting in different lectures in different ways, and with this Prabhuji spoke so nicely, we'll think. But actually, when you go back and hear, he spoke from what Prabhupada already gave. So what Prabhupada gave is like a lifetime of material for us to just keep repeating. Especially the analogies of Prabhupada are so powerful analogies. When he gives um, explaining some difficult concepts with analogy, those analogies are so difficult. You can't create your own. Sometimes out of the blue, when we create one small one, we feel so nice. Yeah, it is, relatable. What to speak of Srila Prabhupada's analogies? Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for choosing such a nice bhajan filled with gratitude to our previous acharyas. And, we all should, what do we get from this bhajan is how fortunate are we that we are part of this lineage, right? We have chosen to be part of this lineage, and how important it is that we maintain the standard and not allow people to judge this lineage based on our actions, right? So, I mean, last week we discussed on that on length, if you all remember, how to react. But no, I'll not get into that now again. I think I didn't even record that. It was a good open heart discussion. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get started with 1 second. Yeah, we'll get started with our satsang today evening. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayan Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopah Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namah Pankajanaಭಾಯ Namah Pankajamaline Namah Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangre Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namah Namo Brahmanyaya Devaya Gau Brahmana Hitaya cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswadeve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nukum karoti vachalam pangum langayati girim yat kripahatam vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om apavitro pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yat smaret pundarikaksha sabhyabhyantaram suche. Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Subhara Prabhu, Hari Bol, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, I'd like to share something, very, very personal before we get started. Something that life is teaching me as I'm going through the journey. You're all my God brothers and God sisters. We're all, disciples of Prabhupada in a way, right? Prabhupada in the disciplining succession. So, Prabhuji and Mataji's, as I'm seeing, it's explained in Bhagavatam that when you want to understand death, you should see your father. When you understand birth, you should see your son, right? Sitting in between, you see both the ends. And I'm also seeing in my house, the whole situation of my father on the bed and not able to talk, not able to move. 3 months now, 3.5 months now. He wants to speak. The other day he said, I want to write something, get me something, and he was indicating. We took something to write. He was not able to write. Fully conscious, but he can't speak. And in this age, when my mother and father wanted to have a peaceful last phase of their life, right? Now my mother, sleeps in the very room where I'm giving this lecture from. There is a bed right opposite to me. So most of the time she spends with me. When I'm in the house, she's sleeping opposite. And then she just sleeps and cries. Sometimes so difficult for me to see. There's nothing I can answer why it happened to us, why it is happening to him. Of course, why we all know philosophically, but how can you console somebody who wanted to have a peaceful ending, and now that person cannot speak, and all you do is you lie down and start thinking and crying, right? So Prabhupada Mataji's, ultimately, we have so many people around us, but life will take us to a point where there will be nobody, right? There will be actually nobody, only we and Krishna. And how much we become attached to Krishna through all these satsangs and through all this association, preparing us for that moment really matters. Because at that moment, if you're not attached to Krishna, and Krishna is not the only shelter, then it's going to be a very difficult moment for us to face, right? Because that moment is going to come in everybody's life. It is going to come. See, we have our wife, children, parents, devotees also around, but ultimately, in that final journey, we are going to be alone, we and Krishna. And there will be situations where if Krishna plans for our quick advancement, there will be put into a place where we are alone. We are left alone. We have to be there to take care of things. And then you and Krishna, right? So it's very important that we practice from now itself. That's what I felt, seeing everything around me, that so important for us to get attached to Krishna. So important. We have to start completely depending on Krishna in all situations, and we have to find our happiness in association with Krishna and devotees. If we don't, then the final stages are really going to be very, very painful, right? So that's what I see when I see my mother, that she's struggling at this point. She's struggling at this point to accept what has happened. And she's still trying to she's still hoping that, my father will come back and they will have that old life, right? What they used to have. But doesn't look like it is going to happen. It's easy for me to say because I have my wife and children. It's a different thing. For her, that is her whole life, her husband and her. So I was just thinking, that even I can be in that situation tomorrow. And at that time, my attachment to Lord Krishna is so important. It's difficult to put in words what I'm trying to tell. But all the saransh, the conclusion is you have to find complete shelter in Krishna. Otherwise, this material life is only going to get tougher and tougher as we proceed with our age. We are in 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We all will be one day. So
चलो आओगे तो आ जाओ, मैं जा रही हूँ. देख, अगर पे पे किया ना तो फटक फोड़ दूंगी दोनों को, जैसे पापा ने कभी सुबह.
हरिप्रिया माता जी, हमें इतने जोर से मत डांटो. हरे कृष्ण. So that's all I wanted to convey. I'm just going through it, so looking at it day after day. And to make matters worse, we're not having those physical satsangs. I really wanted my mother to attend these satsangs and become more peaceful, at least by seeing devotees around, but that is also not happening, right? Because of this stupid corona. I don't know when this will end in totality. Like corona will go, some other thing will come again. What do you do? Hare Krishna. Yeah, Satyadev Prabhu, how to convey this message to our elders? Well, I don't know how we'll convey to others. At least if we understand properly ourselves, that itself is a great blessing. That we have to become Krishna conscious. There is no other way. There is no other way. To remain happy or to go back from this world, we have to become Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Okay. So we'll begin the 11th chapter. We'll discuss some verses today, and then we'll take it from there. So till 10th chapter, what happened? So till 10th chapter, Krishna has explained his opulences, right? He talked about how he is the best of the best. And finally, he also concluded that why are you even trying to understand my material strengths or definition? But that is endless. Whatever I told you is spark of my splendor, right? So he just, says to Arjuna that there's no point trying to understand me that way because I'm endless, right? There is that much only of me you can understand. So then Arjuna is asking this question in 11.1, right? Hare Krishna. Shri Arjuna Vacha. Mad Anugrahaya Paramam. Guhyam Adhyatma Samnitam. Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena. Moho Ayam Vigato Mama. Translation, please repeat after me. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions, you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects. My illusion has now been dispelled. Hare Krishna. So after understanding the opulences of Krishna, Arjuna is saying that all my doubts are gone. Now I know, right? My illusion is removed, right? So now let's hear the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This chapter reveals Krishna as a cause of all causes. He is even the cause of Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as mere human being, as a friend of his, but as a source of everything. Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Krishna. But now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as a source of everything, others may not. So, in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees a universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjuna, But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledges that all this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is a cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as a super soul. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Yeah, so how his illusion is displayed? Anugraha, by Krishna's mercy. Guhyam, by getting confidential knowledge about Krishna's supremacy. So these are the two ways the illusion is removed. So he is saying, I'm good to go. I have understood. So let's go to the next verse. 11.2. Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam Shrutau vistaraso maya Tatvata kamala patraksha mahatmyam api chavyayam. Translation, please repeat after me. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Hare Krishna. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Jai. Purport. Arjuna addresses Lord Krishna as lotus-eyed. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of a lotus flower. Out of his joy for Krishna, he assured him in a previous chapter, Aham Krishnasya Jagata Prabhava Pralayas Tatha. I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. So Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them. As the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, he is all-pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Lord Shri Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So here in additional, Krishna is generally addressed as Dwarkadish for his opulence, or in relation with his Vrajavasis, Yashodanandana, Gopinath, etc. But here, his physical beauty is addressed as Kamala Pratyaksha, meaning lotus-eyed. Yes. Let's go to the next verse. 11.3. Evam etad yathat tattvam. Evam etad yathatha tvam. Atmanam Parameshwara. Atmanam Parameshwara. Drastum Ichchami Te Rupam. Aishwaram Purushottama. Translation. O great of all personalities,
O
greatest
greatest of
of
all
all
personalities,
O supreme form,
O
supreme
supreme
form,
form,
though I see you here
Though
though
I
I
see
see
here
you here
before me
before
before
me
me
in your actual position,
in
in
your
your
actual
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 position,
as you have described yourself,
as
as
you
you
have
have described yourself,
described yourself,
I wish to see
I
I
I
wish
wish
to
to
wish to
see
see
how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation.
how you
how
have
you have
entered
entered
into
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 this
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 cosmic
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 manifestation.
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 I want to see that form of yours.
I
I
want
I
to
want
want
to
to
see
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 that
that
form of
form of
yours.
yours.
Hare Krishna. Purport. The Lord said that because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by the statements of Krishna, but in order to convince others in the future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjuna desires to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna's addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant. Since the Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjuna and he can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in his universal form, for Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criteria for in the future there would be so many imposters who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Arjuna wants to see the opulent Rupam Aishwaryam. Aishwaram. Yeah, so here Prabhupada so beautifully saying, so anybody who claims to be Krishna, okay, you are Krishna, okay, show your universal form. Right? Such a simple way to test. Acid test, show your universal form. Prabhupada also says, ask him to lift Vrindavan. Sorry, ask him to lift Govardhan. Simple things, do these things and prove that you are God. Hare Krishna. Let's go to the next verse. 11.4. Manyashe yadi chakyam
Manyashe
Chakyam
maya drastum iti prabho
Maya
Drustam
Iti Prabho,
Prabhu.
yogeshvara tatho me tvam
Yogeshwara
Tato Me Tvam,
Tvam
darshayatmanam avyayam.
Darshayatmanam Avyayam.
Avyayam.
If you think that I'm able to behold
If you
If
think
If
you
you
that I'm
think
think
able
that
to
I am
behold
able to behold
your cosmic form,
your
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 cosmic
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 form,
form,
O my Lord,
O my
O my
Lord,
Lord,
O Master of all mystic power,
O
O
Master of
Master of
all
of
all
all
mystic
mystic
mystic,
powers,
power,
then kindly show me
and
then
kindly
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 show
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 me
that unlimited universal self.
that
that
unlimited
unlimited
universal self.
universal self.
Hare Krishna. So here is so humbly he's saying, if you think I can see it, if you think I can behold it, I can even understand it, show me your unlimited universal self. Now, the question actually is so contradicting in itself that you're asking to be shown something that's unlimited. How can you see something which is unlimited? You can't really see something that's unlimited in a limited place, right? So you can only understand unlimited, you can't see unlimited, isn't it? You can just understand what is unlimited. You can't see unlimited. You can say, oh, this mountain range, it just keeps going and going and going, it's unlimited. That you can understand, oh, it should be unlimited because I can't see beyond a point. But when you say, show me the entire mountain range and it has to be unlimited. So if it's unlimited, how can you see in a particular place? So it's kind of contradicting, but it's also something that Krishna made it possible, right? Showing him according to the desire of Arjuna. So here, purport. It is said that one can neither see, hear, understand, or perceive the Supreme Lord Krishna by the material senses. But if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Entire living, every living entity is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or to understand the Supreme Lord. Arjuna, as a devotee, does not depend on his speculative strength. Rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's unestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. Wow, what a sentence by Prabhupada. Please, let's hear it again. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. The word Yogeshwara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Yeah, so once again, Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons who depend on the strength of their mental speculations to see Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada is smashing, anybody who is trying to approach Krishna and not becoming a devotee. Yes. Hare Krishna. 11.5. Now Lord Krishna is answering to his request. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Pasya me partha rupani.
Pashyame partharupani.
Shatasho atha sahasrasha.
Shatasho atha sahasrasha.
Nana vidhani divyani.
Nana vidhani divyani.
Nana varna kritini cha.
Nana varna kritini cha.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
The Supreme Personality of God had said,
My dear Arjuna,
My dear Arjuna,
O son of Pritha,
O son of Pritha,
see now my opulences.
see now my opulences.
Hundreds of thousands of very divine
thousands of very divine
and multicolored forms.
And multicolored forms.
Hare Krishna. Purport. Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non-manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form. But because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. Right? So we discussed on this, why devotees are not very keen on universal form, because one, we don't want to compare Krishna with anything material. I mean, that is not possible. Even though we say that, moon-like face and all that, it's actually insult to Lord Krishna when you say moon-like face also, because even moon is not comparable to his beauty, right? Like millions and zillions of cupids also don't form his loving energy. So anything in this material world cannot be compared, but they do compare. So universal form, Krishna is showing that everything is coming from me, coming out of me, but that form is still a material explanation of Lord's energy. But the greatest opulences of Lord are not these five elements and these material worlds and universes floating. The greatest greatest opulence of Supreme Lord is his forgiveness, compassion, and love for all of us, which is what a devotee is more attracted towards, is forgiveness, compassion, and love for all of us, right? So here it is being explained that Krishna is going to reveal that form to him because he asked for it. After seeing this Virat Rupa, Arjuna will again get bewildered, but the bewilderment is different from previous one, as Arjuna is already surrendered to Krishna. 11.6. Pasyadityan vasun rudran.
Pashyadityan vasun ridran.
Pasyadityan vasun rudran.
Pashyadityan
Pasyadityan
Asvino marutas
Marutastata
bahuni adrastha purvani
Bahuni Adrastha Purvani
pasyascharyaani bharata.
Pasyacharyani Bharata.
Translation. O best of the Bharatas,
O best of the Bharatas,
see here the different manifestations
see here the different manifestations
of Adityas,
of Adityas,
Vasus,
Vasu,
Rudras,
Rudras,
Ashwini Kumaras,
Ashwini Kumaras,
and all the other demigods.
and all the other demigods.
Behold the many wonderful things
Behold the many wonderful things
which no one has ever seen
which no one has ever seen
or heard of before.
or heard of before.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada's very small purport. Prabhupada says, even though Arjuna was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known of all these forms and manifestations. Now Krishna revealed these wonderful forms. Hare Krishna. Yes. 11.17. Ihaika stham jagat krishnam
Ekastam Jagat Kristam
pashyadya sa characharam
Pasyadya Characharam
mama dehe gudakesha
Mama Dehe Gudakesha
yach chanyad drastum ichhasi. Translation. O Arjuna,
O Arjuna,
whatever you wish to see,
whatever you wish to see,
behold at once
behold at once
in this body of mine.
in this body of mine.
This universal form
This universal form
can show you
can show you
whatever you now desire
whatever you desire
to see,
to see,
and whatever you may want to see
and whatever you may want to see
in the future.
in the future.
Everything moving and non-moving
Everything moving and non-moving
is here completely in one place.
is here completely in one place.
So this is something that only God can say, that, I'm going to show you something that you want to see and also would want to see in future. Such a complicated algorithm, right? I mean, how can you tell what somebody wants to see in future for eternity, right? That he would never come back and say, okay, I think I missed asking you something. Krishna can only know what is in our hearts. So he's saying, I'm going to show you everything, right? What you want to see or what you wish to see. No one can see the entire universe while sitting in one place. Even the most advanced scientists cannot see what is going on in the other parts of the universe. But a devotee like Arjuna can see everything that exists in any part of the universe. Krishna gives him the power to see anything he wants to see, past, present, and future. Thus, by the mercy of Krishna, Arjuna is able to see everything. Prabhuji and Mataji, can you all imagine seeing everything? Like, can we see everything? If I say, can we see all our houses right now, whoever is logged into the call, simultaneously see everything? Can you do that? Even the thought of it is like confusing, right? How can I see everybody's house at once? Right? And what to speak of our houses or our situation, and what to speak of what is happening now. When you see universal form, you're seeing even the future, everything in one place, right? It's beyond imagination. It's beyond any imagination. So that's what Arjuna has asked, and that's what Krishna is going to show. Natu mam shakshya se drastum
Natu
Natu
mam
mam
sakshase
sakshase
drashtum.
anenaiva chakshusa
Anenaiva
Anenaiva
svachakshusa
svachakshusha.
divyam dadami te chakshu
Divyam
divyam dadami
dadami
te
te
chakshu
chakshu.
pasya me yogam aishwaram.
pasya me
Pashyame
yogamayeshwaram.
yogameshwaram.
Translation: but you cannot see me with your present eyes.
But you cannot
But
see
you
me with
cannot see
present
me
eyes.
with your present eyes.
Therefore, I give you divine eyes.
Therefore,
Therefore, I give you divine eyes.
Behold my mystic opulence.
Huh?
behold my mystic
Behold
opulence.
my mystic
So
opulence.
Krishna is telling you can't see me by your own eyes. I'm going to give you a divine vision. Hare Krishna. Purport. Still Prabhupada has written a nice purport to this. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind, but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind, but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet, because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. See, the playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boy who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls. And after many births, they were able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami recites this verse. Itham satam brahma shukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam para daivatena mayastri tanam nara darkena sakam vijru krita punya punja. Here is the Supreme Person who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now, these boys who have performed many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 12, 11. Continuing the purport. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishwarupa, the universal form, but Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as a Supreme Person, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is the beginning of the Parampara system. Those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who follow in the footsteps of Arjuna could understand, should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as a Supreme, but actually revealed himself as a Supreme. The Lord gave Arjuna the necessary power to see the universal form because he knew that Arjuna did not particularly want to see it, as we have already explained. Hare Krishna. So, Provision Matajis, here one thing that Prabhupada explains while we read is that, one second. Yeah, here one thing that we have heard Prabhupada explain is that none of the devotees actually wanted to see the opulence of Krishna. Actually, where there is love, these opulences are a disturbance to that love, but unfortunately, mundane people think that opulences help us enhance the love, right? So once again, I'm saying what I just told. I'm saying that opulences are necessarily not needed when there is love, right? But mundane people, they think, unintelligent people think that by presenting opulences, it helps in enhancing love. For example, children, parents, right? Children only want their parents' love. That's all children care for. They want to spend time with their father and mother because they are their world. For a child, and the parents are the world, right? The parents spend time with the child, and that warmth, of their chest, the hug, the tightness, the shelter that the children feel when they are with their parents is the love that they expect to see. But sometimes parents think, not all parents, but some parents think that I can increase that love and attachment and my child's respect towards me by showing my opulences, right? Like a father might show, okay, we have a big house, we have big properties, we have big um, material wealth, and look at me, I have this much money, my salary is this much. I don't know, if at all the child knows about all those things, instead of it helping in grow the love between parent and child, it actually creates disturbance in that relationship. But a lot of people don't understand that. Like a husband wants to show his wife, how good material things he can give to her. Well, you should give those material things, but that is necessarily not going to increase the love. That is only going to create more material disturbance. How can you say that? Because when you show that wealth and opulences, you forget that the opposite person is getting attracted not to you, but to that opulence and things that you're showing, right? You think that through that he's increasing attraction on you, but actually through that he's decreasing attraction on you, and his part of his attraction is going towards those things, right? So when you love somebody, you don't want to see what he has as opulences. You're attracted to that person itself, right? You don't want to see. These days you can see, right? I mean, children in well-off families, they see so much opulence of their parents, and the parents think that by being in that opulence, their respect for me is going up, but actually decreases. After some point, they don't want their parents, they want their wealth, right? Even bluntly, they might say, just give me my share, right? But whereas families where the wealth is not the center of display, instead the association of parents with their children is the display. There the relationships are very intimate, right? There the parents and child, they're very happy being with each other, they love each other, and they really value each other's presence. And any opulence will not affect their relationship, but actually that is not properly understood. And sometimes parents these days just buy whatever the children want and they just give it, and they actually think that by me doing so, they are getting more attached to me. They are getting more they respect me for what I'm giving to them. But actually by doing that, they are getting attracted to the material things that you have and not you, right? You should always remember that when you show that opulences, the attention of the children is going away, and exactly here Prabhupada is explaining that devotees are not interested in the opulence of God, because that's a distraction for us. Like, I don't want to see all this. Krishna, I know that everything comes into you, goes out of you. That's okay, but you are the most attractive. What can I do? You as it is are so attractive. I don't want to know what you do. Like sometimes a child doesn't want to know what you do in the office. For heaven's sake, he doesn't want to know what you do in the office. You are his father, and you remain his father no matter what you are. You can become the Prime Minister of India also. He doesn't want to know how you are managing your politics. For him, he is your father. I mean, you are his father, and that's where the whole attraction and love is. But when you show your opulences, that actually creates a disturbance in that loving relationship. Did you all understand, Professor Mataji? You want to comment something on what we just discussed? Can you relate to what I'm discussing? You can differ also, but I really feel like that.
Prabhu, I totally agree, Prabhu. See, when you're attached to something else, what you said is absolutely right. But when I read that shloka, I didn't get that realization. What you just said now is actually helping me understand that sentence. So when devotees are not interested in the opulence, because opulence is not going to impact their devotion. So then that's not what they should be interested in. What they have a relationship already with something, and that's what it is more important. They should not. It's a neutral thing basically. That whole Vishwarupa is a neutral thing basically.
Yeah, it's actually a disturbance.
It's a disturbance. It's a
Why are you
distraction.
showing me? Why are you showing me all this? See, a son wants to spend time with his father, like my younger son, Hriday. His birthday is coming. And he told Nana, I want to go to zoo with you. I want to go to zoo with you. And this age, he wants to go to zoo. I don't know what he wants to see there, but he wants to go to zoo. But I have to understand and respect his request that he wants to go to zoo. That's it. I shouldn't tell him, oh, you're so grown up, why do you want to go to zoo? Maybe he has the desire of going with me to the zoo. And for him, that is the world. That is the attraction. That is the association. Actually, he wants to spend time with me. Right? And but I shouldn't bring my opulence into it. And then I say that, no, instead of zoo, I'll do a thing. I'll give you some nice tickets. You can go to a multiplex and see 4 movies and come back. Eat in a hotel, go to a multiplex, spend your entire day, blow away 20,000 rupees and you come back. Well, he might be motivated to do that because I'm the one who is diverting him. Right? But ultimately, that will not increase his love for me. Instead, next birthday, if I tell him, let's spend together, he'll tell, give me the money. Because my opulences have now taken over that love and relationship that we had. Right? But when there is love, the opulence need not be shown. If you're a Birla's son, Tata's son, or a Pullaya Yallaya's son, or Lilananda Dasa's son, it doesn't matter. A son and a father, parents and children, God and devotee, the relationship is very intimate, not depending upon any opulences. And the opulences actually create the disturbance. But unfortunately, people think that by showing the opulences, my son will become more respectful towards me. Isn't it? It's a weird feeling a lot of people carry.
Prabhuji, sometimes it is true also, no?
Sometimes it's true. In what way?
Say somebody, if they want to believe that somebody is great, they need to see something, and opulence acts as a proof of them being great sometimes.
Well, the
Not in
opulence.
this.
Yeah. No, I'm hearing you. I'm just trying to say that the opulence can be your.
Muted. Prabhuji, you are.
Oh, I'm muted.
No.
Okay. No, Mataji. See, your opulence can be your service that you're doing to others. Your opulence can be the contribution that you're doing to your family, by how much time you're spending and how much your family means for you, right? That is even more intimate opulence than I don't know. See, for temporarily, you might feel that they have suddenly seen, oh my God, my mother or my father is so important person in the office. Oh my God, he has his own cabin. Oh my God, he is this, he is that. But actually, that attraction there, the force of attraction is more the cabin than you.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, I think what Suma is trying to say is, say for neophyte devotees who are very new, and when we say Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and is the cause of all causes, this chapter, the Vishwarup Darshan and the opulences, will help them understand and realize, right? And then it's like a proof. It's not about love because they're not there yet. But, to understand, because we keep saying, he's the Sarvakarana Karanam and a lot of things. But, unless until they see this chapter, unless until they see another chapter in Bhagavatam where Virat Rupa is discussed in Canto 2, Chapter 2, right? Those kind of things, unless and they see that, the first stepping stone won't come, the belief won't come. Love is next. I think you are right in terms of love. The pure devotee who is already in this path doesn't matter, but neophyte devotees, I think this helps them understand the opulences, which is required for them for the strength of the understanding.
I mean, at least that establishes Krishna as a very extraordinary person for them. I'm not talking about devotees at all, Prabhuji. You are very right. Devotees don't need all of this, and it is probably a distraction. But there is a reason to everything that happens in Gita, right? The way the chapters progress, their sequence and the meaning behind why Krishna wants Arjuna to ask these questions and why he wants to answer, everything has a purpose in that. Maybe I'm thinking he's not worried about devotees getting distracted as much as wanting to tell the non-devotees, you believe it or not, I'm just powerful.
Yeah, this is what I am.
Yeah, you're right, Mataji. Yeah, in that context, yes. In that context, yes, that to increase the faith for beginners, to say why is Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishwarup Darshan like this. And that's what I think Prabhupada mentioned in the beginning, that Arjuna is doing it for others' sake. He doesn't want to see it himself. And Krishna also knows what is in his heart. So accordingly, he's showing it, and he's giving the divine vision, not because Arjuna wants to see, but he wants an answer for in future imposters who can come and say that we are God, for them to be rejected by the proof of this universal form, right? So that way, yes, you're right. You're right, Praveen Prabhu and so Mataji, that the purpose is there. It's not a purposeless act done, and it's well thought of chapter that Krishna wanted, part of Bhagavad Gita, where he is showing his Vishwarup Darshan also. But necessarily, it is not something that devotees are attracted to. Devotees are at a different level. But what lesson we have to learn out of it is how we should see our opulences. Opulences given by Krishna, our opulences, including your physical beauty, including your material wealth, everything that is given to you. Don't think that that is going to help you increase your love with your loved ones, because it, again, the same aspect of devotee and God, same aspect comes between children and parents and wife and husband, that these opulences are actually a disturbance ultimately. You should instead focus on developing the relationship, and let opulences be something, I don't know how they'll contribute. I really don't think, because if you really see, the biggest breakages of marriages and biggest problems in marriages are happening in the rich people, community. Whereas if people have so much opulence, they have 10 cars outside their house and big bungalows with everything as per the latest design on fashion, how come they're not happy? And how come their respect for their husbands is not going up? How come the more illegitimate relationships are happening in a place where the husbands are very well off, the family is very well off? That also means that these opulences are a disturbance in having and continuing these loving relationships. It's very important that we understand that material things are always going to be a distraction whenever you bring that in between a relationship. It might, you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, that's again, something that I felt. Yeah, Anandaram Prabhu, Hare Krishna, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Prabhu. I was just thinking, you used the analogy of your son. And today also I had a very interesting exchange with my daughter. So her friends, actually, all her friends and all, they are all being, their parents are taking them out for some holiday and some sightseeing and all that. And so she started telling me that you are the only father who's taking me out. Okay, and she said, you're very kanjus. She told me. Okay, but I was just thinking about it, Prabhuji, like vis-a-vis Krishna, we are also children. And a child would always like to see their father or mother as the best, right? The grandest. Right? And we are all so materially conditioned and so contaminated that, of course, we are not able to have that vision as a pure devotee does. So, like as Suma Mataji was saying, this opulence also does help in kind of reinforcing that faith, at least for children like us, I would say. And at least for just giving you an example, Pooji, that's all. When you said that, I started thinking.
It's it's true, Prabhu. It's true that it helps, but at the same time, what they are getting attracted to is not you. They're getting attracted to that material thing only. Yeah, it looks like us. It looks like they are actually getting attracted to you. Awe and reverence for us is going up when we show that opulence, but then the factor that is attracting is still the material thing only.
Absolutely, Prabhu.
It's very difficult to say that. While I was saying it, I was also thinking, how should I put it in words? It's something that I felt when I read this purport, that my God, such a deep meaning is there inside, that why Krishna doesn't show his opulence to his devotees is because it's a disturbance. It's like a, unnecessary thing. He doesn't want them to get attracted to something such temporary things. He wants them to be very intimately attracted to him for what he is, what he says, what he sings, what he behaves, what he does, activity, janma karma chame divyam. That is what he wants them to be attracted to. But at the same time, we get tempted to show things, thinking my children will respect me more. My education. I'm a CA, I'm an MBA, I'm engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm this, I'm that. I have this office, I have this. As they grow up, you want to show your office to them. As you grow up, you want to show them how important you are outside. But somehow, somewhere, that new person that they see in you is not the person they see in you. It's more the external aspect that you're showing. That kind of creates a disturbance in the relationship. And in future, because they valued you for something else that you are, that something else becomes prominent and you become down. And when a relationship of love has to come in future, when you are in need of them, they would not see that as a main thing. They would see that wealth only as a main thing. Because very difficult to put it. I don't know. Somebody should help me. I'm also agreeing to what you're saying. that yes, it helps, but it scares me. Sometimes that is it really helping, or is it unknowingly? I'm kind of poking on my own back. Putting arrow. Putting a knife behind my back. Unknowingly, by showing something else as a factor more important for my children. I don't know.
No, I agree, Prabhu. So, Anandram Prabhu.
No, you both are right. I mean, everybody's right here. Even Anandram Prabhu is right, and Praveen Prabhu and Somati is right. But
that whatever your daughter is calling you Ganjua, that's all temporary, Prabhu. It's just a flare-like thing. That's all.
No, but the parents,
you more than that.
The parents who actually spend time with their children, which I'm not. I should curse myself for that. Remain so intimately connected throughout their life.
That is more important. Yes.
That is the real wealth. Who actually spend that time, who become a child with a child, become an adult with an adult, become a youth with a youth, right? You sit down and watch that together, and you look at each other, and you laugh at each other, and you spend that time, and then they relate to you. Actually, that time that you spend together, and that remains forever.
Yeah. I want also add to that, Prabhu. So one thing that I and Suma also realized is, just because we are in this bhakti path, we should not have the small pleasures that kids want to have. For example, if they want to go on a vacation, I would say once in a while, we should take them.
Yes.
That's very, very important, Prabhu. So we cannot just say, okay, let's always go to Mayapur, or we should go to Mayapur and all those places. Other than that, also we should have the small pleasures they want. We should, take care of those as well. We should not be averse to those. Is what one thing.
Yeah, we all can go to Singapore and stay in Prabhuji's house and see Disney World.
Of course. Universal Studios.
Oh, Universal Studios. Hare Krishna. No, it's important. Actually, I was hearing this. It's a different topic, but since you brought it up, by Sridhama Prabhu, one very senior disciple of my Gurudev, Radhanath Swami, he came to our satsang, I think, couple of times, Sridhama Prabhu. So he told that, I have my private time with my family sometimes when I don't have to inform all the devotees where I'm going, right? And I took he has one daughter, just like Anandaram Prabhu, he has one daughter and one child, rather, one daughter and child, so they husband and wife, and they went to Disney World, they went to Universal Studios, they went to places, and just them, no devotees and no devotional attire, no devotional thing. Of course, inside, within, why you're doing it and why it is important. But that makes a big difference for their children to know that their parents are still theirs, right? I know you want to give Krishna, but they have to first take you to take Krishna. You should exist, and they will take Krishna from you. They can't. The stage will come and they'll actually see Krishna and not you. But that stage should come by itself. You can't force impose, and so yes, we have to do that. We can't snatch away their childhood, but at the same time, doesn't give us a license to give whatever they ask also. You should have at least that intelligence that what you're seeing and what you should not see with them, what you should show them, not show them, educate them, explain them. Yeah, and you should make them intelligent to decide and understand life. I'll tell you something, may not be a perfect thing to tell in a Bhagavad Gita class, but I'll tell you something that I did. Okay. Okay, what I did is I made a small matrix, with both my sons. We spent like a 1.5 hour recently, like a couple of weeks back. I went into their room. I said, bring me a book and a paper. Okay. Then they were not studying properly. They're all the time behind video games. So I'm like, I don't know how to correct them. So logically, let me see what I can do. Right. So I told them that let us see lifestyles. Let us see lifestyles. So I said, super rich, middle class, lower middle class, lower class. So I kept like five buckets. Right. And then I told, the super rich people have these kind of houses and these kind of cars and this kind of facilities, and rich people have this kind of class and facilities, like that. I kind of wrote it down for each one of the buckets, right? And then what I told is, do you know what category you are in right now? I asked them, do you know what category? Where do you think you fit in? So by the grace of my grandfather, I'm a useless fellow. I sold some properties, I could buy something. So I live in a bigger house. So I told that I think we fit in somewhere in the rich class. I told him that, we fit in this rich class right now. Doesn't matter, but for our discussion sake, I told him that this is where we fit in. And then I told him that for me to come to this rich class, for me to come to this place, it took me 45 years. Right? I'm 45 now. And I'm now seeing this layer where I'm saying, okay, we are rich. Materially, we are rich, just like that. At least the house that we are living in. Forget about the income levels. The house that we're living in, this is where rich people live, like gated community and whatever that we are. And they both were nodding their head. They're like, where is my father trapping this? What is the so then I told them, okay, now it took me 45 years to reach here because I only did CA. Right? I only did CA and I'm an average intelligent fellow. So I did CA and then I worked my way through, and all the stumbles and ups and downs, I reached here by 45 years. And then I said, if I want to be here at the age of 30, then I should have done something more than CA, or I should have been a top ranker in CA. And then I should have joined some big multinationals and did something extraordinary for me to be there by 30 years, right? I took 45 years to reach there, but yeah, I may have to do something extraordinary to reach there, right? And then I asked them a simple question. Asked them a simple question. Okay, you tell me what level you want to be: super rich, middle class, lower middle class, or obviously their answer was rich. Rich and actually super rich. They told me one super rich. And then okay, I said okay, that's nice. That's a sincere answer. Okay. Then I asked them a very catching, very thought-provoking answer. I said, by what age you want to be? By what age you want to be? Right? I mean, they want to be now. They want to be now because they're young. They want it all when they are young. They want to keep playing video games. They want a big screen in their TV. They want that big house, big, nice gated community, all that. Then I said, well, you want to be by what age? So my younger son told, I think by 28 I want. By when I'm 28, I want to have what I have right now. And my elder son told, by 30 I want. Somehow he felt a little threatened. Said, okay, let me add 2 more years to that. By 30 I want to reach there. Yeah, right. And then I told them that, see, ambitions are very good, but let us now write down the degrees and academic percentages you need to have for you to reach there at that age, right? So if you want to reach the rich by 28, you should be in MIT, you should be in ISB, you should be in something like that. You can't tell that I'm in Excellencia Academy or some Chaitanya Narayana and say that I'll be in rich class by 28. It's not possible. You think logically. Then they both started thinking, oh my god, we are trapped now, right? Now we want this thing. So basically indirectly saying I have to slog and study, because if I want what I'm asking for, then you have to do what you are supposed to do. you can't say that I'm playing 4 hours video game every day and getting 70-80% and say that by 28 I want to reach there. No, logically you yourself have written down. So the paper became very busy. By the time we finished it, the whole paper was filled with degrees and rich class and lower class and opulence. so they have a clear idea now. Okay, if I do this, this is where I reach. If I do this, this is where I reach. If I don't do this, then I better understand that I'll not reach there. And one school of thought is they can say that, one school of thought is they can say that, what do you say? I already have this. I already have this house, right? Why do you say that I have to reach till here? You already are giving me this house. You already made this. So why do I need to work so hard? So the answer is, well, when you are in Hyderabad, you have this. But when you're outside Hyderabad, what do? You have to earn and you have to come to that whatever that you are asking for materially. You have to work hard for that, right? So we did this exercise and I felt it gave a lot of clarity. It doesn't change them, but they know that to achieve something, they have to work hard. But all these things are still material at the end of the day, right? The most valuable thing is the time that we spend and the jokes that we cut and the relationship that we carry as parents and children is what actually is their wealth at this point of time, right? I just thought I'll share that exercise that we did.
My daughter has to grow up a little bit more before I do that.
No, don't scare her with that. She's too young. These fellows are in 9th and 10th, so I thought I'll, but it kind of helped, giving them the picture of reality, right? That same philosophy, right? I mean, what you sow is what you reap, right? I mean, if you are putting this much, you don't expect that you'll have everything. You're already actually the rich families' children are at a much vulnerable, bad situation because they're used to that comforts, and to maintain that comfort, they have to work like a donkey, work hard like a donkey. There's no other go. Or you bring them up in a way that they're ready to, you bring them up in a way that they're ready to accept whatever comes their way, and that is where spirituality helps, right? According to your karma, you may have to face a very difficult material life. Who knows? Who knows, Prabhus? That you may have to face a very difficult material life, and you should raise their consciousness to a point and make them understand that this is possible. Even taking like, Ambani's 2 sons, right? Anil Ambani and what is the other guy? Mukesh Ambani. Whatever Anil Ambani did, it's a failure. He's a joke now that, whatever he got from his father is already gone, right? But he better accepts it, that is how his karma is. Instead of complaining and competing, which is what he tried to do, he wanted to compete with his own brother, but ultimately lost everything. His elder brother is paying off his debts right now for whatever he did with Reliance Telecom or whatever that happened. And just one example that it can happen with anyone. So the real wealth that we can give to our children, real opulence that we can give to our children, is spiritual knowledge that they can face any situation in their life, number one, and the good close relationship that we maintain with them, that they can really treasure and respect us for what we are. Respect us for what we are. You know, I know it's not a Bhagavad Gita discussion, but just because it came up. Satyadev Prabhu is saying, can you share the table? No, I'm not going to share. I don't want the table to be shared. Yeah, you can try doing it sometime. You can do it. We can do it for the whole group of children once. That's okay. I can repeat that exercise with all of them, saying where they are, what to. But that's still on the material side. They will anyway have that. But most important thing is to make them understand the laws of karma. Once I remember my Siksha Guru telling me that it's so important that our children should know the laws of karma. Because when we know that the way laws of karma functions, then they can better handle situations in their life, because situations are going to come. And as days progress, it's only going to become more and more challenging to face those situations, right? The situations that we are facing in our generation are much complicated to what our parents have faced in their generation. And our children are going to face even more complicated situations as compared to us. And the only hope for them, the only shelter is philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, right? The Karma Kanda philosophy, the Bhakti philosophy, and the goal of life philosophy is very important, Prabhuji and Mother, I'm telling you. That, like today morning discussion also we had, right, on revengeful attitude and how you can surpass such feelings, is again a Karma Kanda extension only, that you accept that you are biting your own tongue, and you don't have to complain and accept what comes your way, right? So it's very important they understand this philosophy. So any reflections, or I'll just go forward with the next verse. Yeah, okay. Just few more verses and we'll conclude today. Yeah, 11.9. Sanjaya Uvacha.
Sanjay Uvacha.
Evam yuktva tatho rajan.
Evam yuktva
Mahayogeshwaro Hari.
Mahayogeshwaro Hari.
Darshayam Asha Parthaya.
Darshayamaasha Bhartaya.
Paramam Rupam Aishwaram.
Paramam Rupam Aishwaram.
Translation. Sanjaya said,
Sanjaya said,
O king,
O king,
having spoken thus,
having spoken thus,
the supreme lord of all mystic power,
the supreme lord of all mystic power,
the personality of Godhead,
the personality of Godhead,
displayed his universal form to Arjuna.
displayed his universal form to Arjuna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. So one of the things again, in relevant to last discussion that we had, is that just imagine, Prabhuji and Mataji, that you have shown your opulences to your children and they have developed additional respect for you by doing so, and tomorrow you lose those opulences. Then what? Then what is holding you, right? So did the opulences create disturbance, or did they create a better situation? They're always a disturbance. Material things, whatever you show to our children, and wealth and whatever prosperity that we show, is ultimately going to be a disturbance only. It is never going to be an advantage, because that is not in our hands. We can lose it anytime. See, Prabhuji and Mataji, the other day I was speaking to Krishna Dulal Prabhu, and he was telling that one of his friends at the age of 43, 44 became blind because of diabetes. 43, 44. He's practically blind. He can't see. Tell me, anything can happen to us, right? One single nerve, you're walking in the morning and one single nerve, you feel something is going on and the nerve is gone and your eyesight is gone. What can you do if your eyesight is gone? Tell me. What can you do? You'll start selling your properties. That's all you can do. Sitting in the house, nobody will hire you if you are blind. You can be 25 years experienced in a multinational, but who cares when you're blind? It's over. Your prosperity can be, that's why they say, right? Krishna se panga mat lo, because if Krishna wants, you can be a beggar tomorrow morning. Seventh February 2022, you can be begging in the street in front of your house. Do you want to challenge? Who wants to challenge Krishna? You can say, no, Prabhu, but why will I beg? I actually have everything. I don't think tomorrow I'll beg. Maybe after some time he can make me beg. But I don't think I can. Do you want to challenge Krishna? Nobody can dare do that. The temporary material world is like that. Everything can change in a fraction of second. Fraction of second, everything that we have is gone. In a fraction of second, you get something that you don't even think you deserve to. Right? So everything material is temporary. So these opulences, everything is temporary. Nothing good to be shown to anybody. Yeah. So here it is being mentioned what Arjuna saw. Right? Hare Krishna. 1 second. Yeah. Aneka Vaktra Nayanam.
Anekavaktra Nayanam.
Anekadbhuta Darshanam.
Anekadarshanam.
Aneka Divya Bharanam.
Anekadivyaparanam.
Divya Aneko Dayat Yudham.
Divyaneko
Divya Malyambara Dharam.
Divyamalyambaradharam.
Divya Gadhanu Lepanam.
Divyagananulepanam.
Sarvascharyamayam Devam.
Sarvascharyamayam devam.
Anantam Vishvato Mukham.
Anantam Vishwatomukham.
Hare Krishna. Please repeat after me. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths.
Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths,
Unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions.
unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions.
The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments.
The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments
And bore many divine unpraised weapons.
and bore many divine unpraised weapons.
He wore celestial garlands and garments.
He wore celestial garlands and garments.
And many divine scents were smeared over his body.
And many divine scents were smeared over his body.
All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding.
All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding.
Hare Krishna. Purport. In these two verses, the repeat use of the word many indicates that there was no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjuna was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe. But by the grace of the Lord, Arjuna could see them while sitting in one place. That was due to the inconceivable potency of Krishna. Right? It's impossible to understand. So many actually means unlimited. Divi Surya Sahasrasya.
Divi Surya Sahasrasya.
Bhaved Yugapad Uttita.
Bhaved Yugapad Uttita.
Yadi Bha Sadrashi Sa Isyad.
Yadi Bha Satrishi Sa Syad.
Bhashastasya Mahatmana. Translation. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form.
Their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form.
Hare Krishna. So here, it was mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in one other purport that soul itself is so effulgent, right? That you can see the difference of effulgence between a dead body and a body that's alive, right? It's so clearly visible. Just imagine I'm alive now and then I'm dead here, right? You can clearly see the difference. It doesn't need a scientific stethoscope to see whether a person is alive or not. Right, the soul itself shows that effulgence, even though with even less purity, even though the soul is conditioned, still there is effulgence. What to speak of the Supreme Lord's effulgence, who is the source of all the unlimited souls, right? And here the sun is being compared as the most nearest substance that we can think of, because in this material world, the most radiant form is sun, the most effulgent is sun. So here, for our understanding, it is being told that millions of suns, thousands of suns together resemble the effulgence that Arjuna was seeing, right? So just for our conception, just imagine in the sky every day morning, you see a big sky and a small ball like sun coming up, right? Just imagine the ball just becomes the entire sky. Suddenly that ball becomes the entire sky. What will it be like? That's exactly what Arjuna is feeling here. He's seeing everything just like sun, millions of suns. Yeah. So what Arjuna saw was indescribable. Yet Sanjaya is trying to give a mental picture of that great revelation to Dhritarashtra. Neither Sanjaya nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjaya, by the grace of Vyasa, could see whatever happened. Thus, he now compares the situation as far as it can be understood to an imaginable phenomenon, that is thousands of suns, right? So since Sanjaya is trying to give the picture to Dhritarashtra of the Vishwarupa, Virat Rupa, he is using some number of effulgence for the effulgence. Otherwise, there is no count possible as seen in the previous verse. There is no count possible. Tatraikastham Jagat Krishnam
Tatraikastam Jagat Krishnam
Pravibhaktyam Anekadha
Prabhaktam Anekada
Apasyad Deva Devasya
Apashyad Deva Devasya
Sharire Pandavastada.
Sharire Pandavastada.
Right. At the time, repeat after me.
At that time,
At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form
could see the universal form
of the Lord the unlimited expansions
of the Lord, the unlimited expansion
of the universe situated in one place,
of the universe situated in one place,
although divided into many, many thousands.
although divided into many thousands.
Hare Krishna. So inconceivable. Even when I read this, it doesn't, it's so difficult to understand. At that time, Arjuna could see the universal form of the Lord, the unlimited expansions, the universe situated in one place, although divided in many, many thousands, right? This is the best possible translation that you can think of for such a difficult verse to explain, right? Let's see what Prabhupada says more. Here, Srila Prabhupada is saying the word tatra, there, is very significant. It indicates that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjuna. Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from the Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some of them are made of gold, some are made of jewels, and some are very great, some are not so great, etc. Sitting on his chariot, Arjuna could see all these, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjuna and Krishna. Hare Krishna, the universal vision that Arjuna was seeing. Hare Krishna. So talking about gold planet, can you imagine a planet made of gold? Huh? Praveen Mataji, how many want to go to that planet? The entire planet is made of gold. I mean, the what we are walking on, the rocks and the soil, is actually gold in the planet. So I remember this lecture that I heard many, I mean, in the beginning time of my KC, is that one very Swami Maharaj was saying that somebody was so attached to gold that after he dies, he wanted to take gold with him. So he actually kept golden bricks in his house. And he told that when I'm going to get burnt, after I die, make sure you throw that golden bricks into the fire. So there might be some way I can take those golden bricks with me, because I want to make sure that I'm wealthy in my next body. Whichever universe I go to, I want to make sure that I have some wealth, right? And then they actually did that. That they throw the golden bricks into the fire, and for the analogy's sake, the Sannyasi Maharaj explaining that he actually took the bricks to the next planet. And when he brought that big bag and was entering the door of the planet, the gatekeepers told, "So what did you bring?" He said, "I have my wealth with me. I don't want to. I don't want my destiny to decide that I have to be poor on this planet. I've got my wealth with me." And then the doorkeeper just laughed and said, "Okay, go inside." And then when he went inside, he saw that all the houses were made with golden bricks, right? And practically gold was used like a brick in that planet, nothing more than that. And gold was not even considered as any opulence. So then he's holding this big brick. So he felt, oh my God, what did I do? Ultimately, I bought bricks to my next life, which will be used only like bricks. I can't give this and get anything in return, right? So that is the situation of a materialistic person, that whatever he wants to take, he can never take. To whatever he's experiencing in this life ends with this life. If you are meant to have material wealth in this life, you will have it. But if you're attached to it, you will suffer in next life, because next life you want to have the same kind of facilities and opulence, and you will not have it, because next life is already decided based on your deeds. That is why attachment to anything material or finding anything valuable, for a sadhu, there is no difference between stone and gold, right? Because he clearly sees the real thing, that everything, it's not different, right? The story of Sanatan Goswami and this merchant who goes to Sanatan Goswami, and he has this the stone which turns everything into gold, touchstone, right? And he says, Sanatan Goswami, okay, take this touchstone. You want to be wealthy, take this touchstone and go. And this merchant is wondering, this Goswami has given the touchstone to me, knowing that it creates gold. So definitely he should have something more valuable than that, because he is like giving it away to me. Like, take it and go, get lost. I don't want to see this around me. You can take this and go. So then the merchant actually goes and asks Sanatan Goswami that you have given me a touchstone, and you're not even affected. How come, so you must be having something more valuable than this. Then the instruction of Sanatan Goswami is very important. He says, for me to tell the answer to this, you have to first throw the touchstone. Right? I'm not going to tell the answer to this until you first throw the touchstone. It's very important, Prabhuji and Matajis, this particular instruction of Sanatan Goswami, because by holding to material wealth, you can't appreciate spiritual wealth. It's difficult. It's not possible that you're holding to material wealth and all the facilities and the comforts, meaning the confidence that material wealth will help you. If you have that confidence, you can't appreciate spiritual wealth. You cannot. Doesn't mean that we should become poverty stricken to understand Krishna. We don't have to become akinchana gocharam. Right? Akinchana gocharam means somebody who has left everything. He's a beggar. He's materially zero, and then he's attracted to Krishna. Well, that is not the way. The point is how much we think that the material wealth can help us. How much we really value the material wealth. Because material wealth can go away. At any moment, it can go away.
Prabhuji,
Right?
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, it is easier to realize the spiritual wealth when you don't have material wealth. I mean, it becomes a very natural ability to recognize spiritual wealth when you don't have material wealth, because that's all you have. But sometimes we do realize, no, Prabhuji, we almost are driven to the edge. Anything could have happened. Somehow we are miraculously saved, Prabhuji. A moment of danger or something that was really scary, and things could have gone completely wrong, but somehow we were saved. We do realize, isn't it, Prabhuji? I mean, it's I completely get it that it is It's like how we always, it's easier to remember Krishna if we are in misery, let's say. Right? If everything is going just according to our plans, chances of it's easier to forget him. It's more difficult to remember him. Like that, there are moments, even with whatever material wealth, whatever we can call it, we do experience spiritual wealth, isn't it?
I agree, and I also accept what you said, but I also want to say that it shouldn't be like Vruddhanari Prativrata, right? I mean, it should be a situation that you are so waste now that you are very loyal to your husband. Doesn't make meaning out of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you have it and you value Krishna, that is real wealth,
Yeah.
right? I mean, but just because I don't have anything now, Krishna, you are the only way. Krishna is very intelligent. He says, "Amma na kodaka motto enjoy cheshi, khatam chesina arkuchunavara." You exhausted everything, nicely enjoyed everything. Now you are coming like a beggar to me. So Krishna knows better. So the point is, necessarily being bereft of material wealth, our chances of appreciating spiritual wealth, yeah, the chances are more, but I will not say absolute, because there are many people who are materially bereft, but they're not Krishna conscious.
Yeah.
They are more materially attached. In fact, they're planning to become cheaters and robbers, and to get it back, right? To get the material wealth back, rather than looking at why I lost it, how I lost it, why it is all temporary. Spiritual realization is more important than losing material wealth, right? Spiritual realization that now having it also, we should not feel that this is my savior. And we saw actually Corona for devotees is a very good wake-up call. For non-devotees, I don't know how much it really helped them. I see that more people became drunkard when they're in Corona time. More lines outside a wine shop than normal. But then for devotees, at least it should be a wake-up call that whatever they have read in Prabhupada's purpose is indeed true. That the wealth is never going to save us. The money, I have seen personally, Prabhupada and Matthew, that was a blessing, though I don't want to see that again, is when I took my father to Care Banjara that night when he got COVID, and somehow Shamada Prabhu got a bed. And actually that bed was blocked for another devotee's father who could not make it to the hospital that night. He could only reach the hospital next day morning. So luckily that bed was given to me. There was one person who came to that emergency yard. I was standing there. I still remember I was standing there. Here is the emergency ward room, and here is the billing section, and here is the entry. And that person comes inside on his knees. He falls on his knees, holding 2,000 rupee bundles in his hand. 2,000 rupee bundles. Maybe he was holding like easily five bundles he was holding in his hands. 5 bundles is 2,000 into 5, 10 lakh rupees. And like, please give me a bed for my father. Like, my father is in the car, give me a bed. I'm going hospital to hospital, give me a bed. They could not give it. They don't have it. They don't have it. And when I saw that, my God, that is like, and the way he cried and he ran, he understood that they're not going to help him. So immediately he got up and, he was crying and he was running back out to his car. Maybe he's going to the next hospital. And I felt so fortunate that my father got a bed even in that situation. Otherwise, he would have died definitely. Showed me that what material wealth can do. Nothing you could do. Nothing. When you get cancer in the 4th stage, what can you do with your wealth? When you get it in 3rd stage, okay, chemo, radiation, whatever. 4th stage, what will you do? Nothing you can do. So many things that come our way in our body, the way it will cheat us at some point. What can you do? Like right now, Prabhuji and Mataji, my father is on the bed. He can't speak, he can't eat, he can't express. Do you think if I have 1 crore cash in my hand, he can speak? No, he will not. He is not going to speak. He'll speak only when Krishna allows him to speak. Only when Krishna allows him to speak, he'll speak. Very clear. I'm at least this incident has made me understand. Rakhe Krishna mare Krishna rakhe koi. There is no other insurance policy. That's what it is. If Krishna wants to save us, nobody can destroy us. And if Krishna wants to destroy us, nobody can save us. Very, very clear. So the material opulence that we have, is actually of no significance. We think that it is, but it is not. But by having that, if we realize that and use that in service of Krishna, then we are akinchana gocharam, right? We have to use it when we have it. Not that, somebody sent a very beautiful quote that when you get more, you should give more, something like that. It was not a spiritual quote, but a normal material person, somebody wrote it, that when you get more, don't increase your lifestyle, increase your giving, right? Something like that it was. And it's so nice. I see many devotees in our satsang, who are also following the principle that you are open to give to temples, for cows, go seva, and so many things that we are trying to do for book distribution. You're coming forward and giving, and that's a very good thing. Don't count what you're giving, because there is nothing to count. Don't count material wealth, because it is not worthy to be counted. It has no count. Material wealth doesn't have any count, right? We think that we are counting and we are saying that I have this much, but actually there is no value to it. It can be taken away in a glimpse. It can be, and in spite of you having it, you might still suffer, right? Like, right now me and my family, we are living in a little bigger house, but we are not liking the house because devotees have not come. There are no satsangs yet. It's still like, it's like a beautiful hell. The hell is beautiful. Yes, it is. It looks beautiful. But then where is that family? Where is that happiness? And where is my father? Where is my family? The most important thing, right? Every time, they do this suction, Provision Mother, I'll tell you how material world is. Sorry for sharing, tolerating me sharing my personal thing, but they do this suction, right? So when there is cough in your throat and you are paralyzed, you actually cannot spit it out, right? So there is cough in your throat, so it's difficult for you to breathe. So then you have to manually pull that cough out, right? So you have this hole here and there is a pipe. They insert the pipe. I mean, just imagine how painful it can be. The pipe is literally directly going into your nerves, your pipes here. And then you start that machine, the suction machine, which pulls it will pull it out. And I see my father, he jumps like this, like literally he's paralyzed, but he literally jumps like that machine that you keep, right? When you want to bring up somebody who is dead, you keep that big electric machine, like we give shocks, chuck, like that it is when he does the suction. And he literally, he cries and he shouts whenever the suction is done. And wherever we are in the house, Provision Matajis, we can hear that. That makes it even worse, right? I mean, my mother is in the kitchen, I'm in my office room, my children are in their room, they can hear the suction when it happens. And when it happens, it doesn't happen once in a day, it happens like 7-8 times minimum. And suction has to be done. And tell me, what happiness can you feel when somebody so much important in your life is going through that pain in that same house? Every 3 hours you're hearing the suction, and when you don't want to go into the room and see him go through that. It's very painful to see him go through that. You just stand outside the room and you hear that voice. He cannot speak, but he shouts in a different voice, right? And it's so painful, Provision Mataji, and then you realize what this material world is, what this opulence is. Whatever the house looks like externally, the false ceiling, the false lights, everything is false. That's why it is called false ceiling. So you realize that everything is false outside. The real thing is inside. He is going through so much pain. What happiness can you have in the house, right? So we have to see the reality the way it is. None of this opulence is going to be making us Krishna conscious. It will never make us Krishna conscious. And that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is that sloka? Bhogaishwarya Prashaktanam Taya Pritchesasam Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhir Samadhav Navidhiyate. He says, no, this Bhoga and Aishwarya are not going to help you understand me. But a devotee should not disrespect the Bhoga and Aishwarya that he received also, because that is given by Krishna. He should use that in Krishna's service. That is the key. We are not after false renunciation like many other so-called sadhus speak, give up everything, go and sit in Himalayas. No, we will use this opulence in service of Krishna and not be attached to it. Right? That is what we should practice, and that is what we should also make our children practice. That no matter what position you go, no matter what you become in life, remember that you will use that in Krishna's service. You'll use that in Krishna's service. That's it. Right? Everything that we have, you'll use that in Krishna's service. That's what is being discussed here. Any reflections, Pros and Matajis? And we'll wrap up here. Yeah, for a 1 second. Yeah, if you are okay, you can on your cameras and we'll spend the next 5 minutes just reciprocating what we have received. You okay here? What was the verse we were discussing? Yeah. So we'll just read the purport of that verse and we'll wrap up then. So the purport, 1 second. Yeah. So the verse was what? Then bewildered and astonished by his hair standing on the end. No, this we did not read. We read the 13th one. Yeah. So 13th one was, at that time Arjuna could see the universal form of the Lord, the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, all the divided into many, many thousands. Yes. Yeah. So we are going to continue from 14 next week. So Provision Madhu, any reflections, any thoughts of what we discussed today? Do we want to see Krishna's universal form? Yes, I want to see Krishna's universal form. No, why not? I want to see. But that should increase my love towards Krishna. Yeah. Increase my love towards Krishna. Oh, mera beta ye bhi kar sakta hai. You know, like a mother, right? She's already in love with her child, but when her child does something extraordinary more, she's even more falling in love. Acha, he did this also. Something like that. You know, he has this also. Something like that. At least devotees, Prabhupada Mataji, we should not compare each other on a material platform. That's the worst thing that can happen. At least devotees. See, when you see a devotee who has some wealth, you should only see that Krishna has given that wealth to the devotee to use in Krishna consciousness. And when you see some devotee who is struggling in his life materially, you should understand that Krishna is given that situation to him so he can get more spiritual realizations. That's all. You know, never ever compare any devotee's wealth, anything for that matter, on a material platform. Like for example, there is this devotee, Krishna Chandra Prabhu, right? Is a disciple of my Guru Maharaj, Radhanath Swami. He is the owner of Mafatlal Industries, right? A big person and very famous family in entire Bombay, right? Very old famous family, and he has very nice bungalow in Pune since the beginning. And but when he comes on a yatra, I don't know how many of you have seen him on a yatra. He wears normal chappal. You can't even recognize that he is Krishna Chandra Prabhu, right? Mafatlal, the owner of Mafatlal Industries, right? You would not even notice that. You can actually go and talk to him just like any other devotee. And one of the services that he takes is he is a coordinator for bus. You know, wherever the bus goes, right? I mean, just see that is the position that he keeps for himself. He is very close to his Guru. He has helped with all his wealth and with all his support. Many ISKCON projects have gone forward, but he never claims that he is the reason for that. He never tells what all projects he has been helping. And so is even Piramal Industries, you know, Ajay Piramal. And so is, you know, I shouldn't name them in a satsang, but, you know, why not? You know, they're great devotees. Srinathji Prabhu, who left the planet, you know, he is, you know, the industries that he used to run. And Mahaprabhu, you know, who was a great lawyer, right, who helped fight so many cases for ISKCON. So much material wealth they had, but they always used it in Krishna's service, and they always kept themselves on the ground. So if you go to Rishikesh Mafatlal's house, you know, you're not going to buy. No, that is not the way to look at devotee's house. His house was used for satsang. His Pune bungalow His Pune bungalow was Pune Yatra. If you go back to 1990s, there used to be a Pune Yatra every year. And Pune Yatra means the entire 3,000-4,000 devotees used to do satsang in his house in Pune bungalow. And all sannyasis and Mara, you seen that video where Narshing Aarti, everybody's dancing and doing, that is the Pune Yatra. That is the bungalow of Rishikesh Mafatlal ji's house. Now, can you say that he is materially wealth and you can compare and see, oh, this, he's so rich, he speaks all this philosophy. Well, he's rich, but he's using everything in Krishna's service. You look at Alfred Ford, Amrish Prabhu, what is he doing? Is he living in a Marriott, like a 7-star room? Is he living there? He's living in Mayapur in a normal room. In Mayapur, he doesn't have a separate suite, presidential suite. Presidential suites are there in 5-star hotels, not in Mayapur. In Mayapur, you have the same building and the same fan, Ketan fan, or whatever brand it is, I don't know. The same fan, right? The same room, the same bed. Yeah, maybe a couple of more things. But he lives there and he's overseeing the project. It has to open in 2022. I don't know what they're planning now. If there is a delay or further plan, I don't know what's going on there, but he's overseeing that. Now, is he wealthy? Yes. Should devotees look at his wealth and become envious? No. Prabhuji and Mati, I'll tell you something. The more you surrender, the more Krishna will give. And the more Krishna gives, the more you use in his service, the more he'll give. The more you use in his service, the more he'll give. But you should continue to use in his service. Decorate your house in such a nice way that a materialistic person should come and say Hare Krishna. Just looking at Krishna everywhere. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Wow. Right? For preaching purposes, you can do. But internally, you should know that all this is illusion. Everything is illusion. Right? So thank you much. Thank you very much, Prabhuji and Machis, for your association. So next week onwards, hopefully we'll be doing in-person satsangs. Next Sunday, we may not have this class. We might have a class in the association of Yugal Kishore Prabhu. He's coming to Hyderabad. So we might have a morning class, most probably in VSK. I'm yet to confirm Sunday. So let's get excited to meet and dance together. It's been quite a big gap, right? And
you said Rajesh
please,
to Hyderabad Prabhu?
Radhesham Prabhu is already in Hyderabad. We are having a satsang with Radhesham Prabhu on 20th. On 20th. So we have back-to-back big Sundays. So 20th, we are having with Radhesham Prabhu in Vaishnav Seva Kunj evening from 4 to 8, which will be a DT installation of Shri Giriraj Prabhu's Gaurnitai. And this 13th happens to be a bonus that Krishna has given. That His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu will be here and he will give a session. Exact timing might be between 11 to 1, 11 to 2, something like that in the afternoon. So we all will go to VSK and attend that session there, unless the plan changes and we have to do somewhere else within the city. But right now, that is what I feel it is going to happen. So please make yourself available and please come. And I'm really grateful, Prabhuji and Mataji, that you are giving this much time attending this evening class also. This is the instruction of, of Radhesham Prabhu that we should stay united, be united, and we might grow as many groups, but there is one platform where we all assemble and share what we have learned, right? And I'm sure the morning Bhagavatam class are also helping. Everybody's preparing and coming with new realizations, and it's really helping me, that I can tell you. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Prabhu, on the 14th, anything are we doing special, Prabhu?
14th?
Nityanand Trayodasi, anything special?
Yeah, Nityanand Trayodasi. Actually, the Sunday evening, it's Monday, but Sunday evening, for whatever reason, I don't know how it happened, why it happened, but one group in USA has invited me to give a lecture on Nityanand Trayodasi. So maybe I'll be doing that as part of Sunday evening program.
Okay.
Right? On after the Yugal Kishore Prabhu's program in the evening, around 7:30 p.m. the program is there. So you all can also join the same bridge. I will share with you. and we will have a kirtan and of Nityananda, discourse on Nityananda Trayadashi. And then on Monday morning, we will have Bhagavatam class that day. We will read Nityananda Leela from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let's schedule that. We will have Mangalarti in our house, or if anybody else wants to do also, that's fine. Whoever wants to do on Nityananda Trayadashi. And we will have Chaitanya Charitamrita class in the morning before we go to our work. Unfortunately, we still live in India where Nityananda Trayadashi is not a national holiday. so maybe that day will come.
We can have a satsang in our house on that day.
Yeah, we can do that in the evening. We all can meet in person and have a sweet, nice satsang, do more kirtans. And I will request Suma Mataji and Saraswati Mataji and other whoever is there, Matajis to be prepared to sing some nice Nityananda kirtans. Nityananda Rai, right? So we can sing Nityananda kirtans. Let it be more of a kirtan evening. In a brief.
Take care of the Bhakti Sastri class.
Yeah, that can be taken care.
That's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Lilananda Prabhu is there.
No, I'm not there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, just one information. On the 13th, actually, there is already a book program in My Home Jewel with Yugal Kishore Prabhu by Balgovind Prabhu organized it.
On 13th, he did? He did not tell me yet.
13th morning. It's a morning program.
From what time to what time?
From 11 to 2.
Oh, so he did it. Okay, so it will not be in VSK then. Okay, so I was waiting for that. Did he send anything out? I did not see it.
There is a separate group. There is a My Home Jewel Satsang group.
When did he send this?
He sent it in the evening, Prabhuji.
Oh, today evening. So I have not seen it yet. I'm sure he wants to. He'll send me a note also.
Yeah.
So okay, so it'll be in My Home Jewel Project, not in VSK. So 13th, what time to what time?
Morning 11 to 2 p.m.
11 to 2 p.m. Okay, so we'll do that. And if anybody wants to contribute to that event, you can reach out to Balgovind Prabhu for Prashadam and everything. So we can do that. And because Sadhu is coming, we all together are putting up a program. Let's do our part. So thank you, Satyadev Prabhu. That clears one thing, that we are having this satsang in My Home Jewel from 11 o'clock. Okay. So if you have your Sunday morning programs, you can do it still until 11:30, 12 o'clock. And then especially online programs that you're doing, you can still have it, do it, and then come and attend the program as well. Because I don't know by what time, exact time Yugal Kishore Prabhu will come. It might be 11, it might be 12 also, because it's coming from another place. But let's be ready by 11, right? I'm calling the avatar devotees to come to Jewel. I'll call them to come to My Home Jewel for the same program. You can call if any local devotees are there. We have to get the count. I think very soon we have to get the count. And let's take it from there. So on 13th evening, I'll do an online program. If some of you want to attend, I'll send the link about Nityananda Trayadashi, Lord Nityananda. I've been asked to speak to another group in Texas. So you can also join if you're available. And then 14th, we will have satsang in Praveen Prabhu's house, right? On Nityananda Trayadashi. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Jai. So anybody wants to sing Narsingh Arti? Or I can sing. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahaladaladaine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Narsimho Parato Narsimho Yato Yami Tato Narsimho Bahir Narsimho Hridaye Narsimho Nara Singha Madhim Sharanam Prapade Tabakara Kamala Bare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Brungam केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल भक्त विघ्ननाश नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय भक्त
जय।
शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
जय
ऐसी
जय।
भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रवजिकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रवजिकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय
जय।
नामाचार्य
जय।
श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय
जय।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय
जय।
प्रेम से बोलो जय
जय।
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय
जय।
ओम श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोप गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय
जय।
श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय पुण्य क्षेत्र वृंदावन धाम की जय
जय।
गंगे माई की जय यमुने माई की जय भक्ति देव की जय कली पावन तुलसी महारानी की जय
जय।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय ट्रांसलेंडल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय ट्रांसलेंडल प्रसादम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय निताई गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे
हरि
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 बोल
बोल
all glories to the assembled devotees
हरे
all
कृष्ण
glories to assembled devotees
हरे
all
कृष्ण
glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gaurang vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah ananta koti vaishnav vrinda ki jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai
जय।
Hare Krishna Dandot Pranam Prabhuji and Mataji, thank you very much for joining
Thank
today's evening program. Let's get prepared for Lord Nityananda Prabhu's arrival next week, right? And also Yugal Kishore Prabhu's program. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna
Hare Bol.